A pioneer is one who helps open up new lines of thought. An educator is one who inspires and shares knowledge. A researcher is one who studies a subject carefully to discover new information or to understand the subject better. Today we honor one who in the field of management epitomizes these characteristics, Dr. Ed Fleishman. Upon the completion of his master's degree and an internship in the Pentagon, Fleishman enrolled at The Ohio State University, where he earned his doctorate in 1951. Dr. Fleischman's dissertation work and research on leadership at The Ohio State University proved to be important for the field of leadership and management. Over the course of his professional career, Fleischman authored over 250 journal articles and research reports, many of them in the fields of leadership and management. He has served on APA's Policy and Planning Board, was editor of the Journal of Applied Psychology, and served on the editorial boards of many other U.S. journals. Today we honor Dr. Ed Fleishman with the Taylor Key Award, which recognizes individuals for their contributions to the advancement of the art and science of management. While Dr. Fleishman has achieved many accomplishments over the course of his professional career, he is humbled in recognizing his achievements are not just his own. Dr. Edwin Fleishman is a pioneer, a teacher, a researcher, and an inspiration to a new generation.
And I think back to a career that I've had, having to be the son of a Freud of industrial psychology. It hasn't been easy. There have been some career changes. But the one constant in my life, and the reason I decided to be here with you today, was I had a mentor. And what is the experience that I'm having being part of this family, it feels like, is the sense of humanity that is being cherished and mentored by your faculty advisors. It is really something to watch from being on the outside. I had no idea who Sam is. I was contacted 10 years into retirement, basically, on my part. My dad's 92. And for his name to be recognized at this point in time is such an honor. So I want to say that first. Secondly, there's some life experience that I think my dad would be very proud if I shared with you. Other honors that he's received have included from his high school, from his universities, being recognized as one of the most famous men from those schools. And I attended several of those honorary inductions on the stage from the Baltimore College in Baltimore, Maryland, which is actually a magnet program high school, was the mayor of the city of Baltimore, the governor of the state, the controller of the state, a Nobel laureate, and my dad. The population of the school had changed, the demographics had changed since he was in that school as a high school student. It was now 95% Afro-American. And when he stood up to speak, he was speaking to an audience that he felt so much in common with. At the beginning of his ceremony, they stood up, the student body that was graduating that day, and sang the national anthem in Latin. And I still remember that moment, just watching the change that had taken place. And then he spoke. What did he talk about? How did he communicate? How could he relate to this audience? 16, 18-year-old kids from the ghetto in Baltimore. And he said these words, he said, I still remember it, he said, wow, not much has changed here. He says, I can see that when I was poor, I got into this school and I made something out of myself. And let me tell you, I'm so proud of each and every one of you today. I have, through my education, left Baltimore and ended up in the White House, and have traveled around the world as an educator and as a researcher, having too much fun and making a difference in all of the requirements that were involved with human rights, justice, making a difference. Your research matters. And the type of choices that you face are not going to be easy. You're going to be wondering about what kind of jobs you're going to get next. You're going to be wondering about hard choices, family choices. So my advice for you as young students is to recognize these advisors that you have now. They are mentors who are there for you. They will guide you in networking, looking for work, other kinds of decisions that you may not know that you're going to have to make. And I'll be there for them as well. I live in Washington, D.C. I've been so impressed by what I've seen today that I'm ready to be there to help as a networking facility. And I have a lot of contacts there. So anybody who is coming to Washington, please contact your advisor, and we'll see what we can do. In closing, there are so many opportunities in research. Stick with it, do what you're doing right now. Everyone seems to be on the right path that I've watched here today. And you can see I'm emotional about it. The final comment that I want to leave with you is humanity, humanity, humanity. We're all in this together. Keep that in mind always. And there are just a few citations that I wanted that were important to me in an organization, the Management Research Institute, which was a think tank, basically. Dr. Fleischman's career also really was to bring together the various political organizations around the world that all were at war with each other. He was instrumental in bringing together the first scientific delegation between the Soviet Union and the United States. There were 8 scientists during the space program who went over to Russia in 1959, 1960 period. The U-2 got shot down while it was there. And my grandmother, where I was staying, I just escaped from Russia, and now my son is being held there. It took 2 weeks for him to come home. As an outgrowth of that particular event, he became best friends with the chief psychologist of the Soviet Union's defense forces. Similarly, at all of these international conferences, there were Chinese, there were Europeans, there were Spanish, there were Brazilians. And these relationships led to development of the doors opening to China. In 1981, he was part of the delegation that first spoke with the original Chinese scientists who had been put to labor camps. And about 1/3 of the population in this picture I have at home was folks that had spent their time in labor camps, but because of this internationalization, this globalization that was occurring, they were able to get out of work camps. 2 years later, presidents were shaking hands between China and the United States. So the work and the research you're doing really does matter. There are going to be doors that you can open up. There's going to be new places for you to explore. Enjoy it, and you've made me very proud to see how hard you've worked and that you've developed such a wonderful relationship with some mentors. Congratulations. Thank you very much.